Top 10 parts you should have in every single side-by-side you own, whether it's a utility, a sport, it's for farm use, or you're driving across the country to go to mud parks, sand dunes, or trail riding, doesn't matter. Let me show you what they are. Got to get a jump post right there. So UTV stereo sounds this one, wires right up to your battery terminals, and you can mount this right here anywhere on your side-by-side that's accessible. Comes with caps to cover the stuff up so it doesn't get messed up, but it sucks to be out in the middle of the trail, at your house, in your barn, wherever it may be, and not be able to get to the battery without a screwdriver or crescent wrench or God knows what else. Because I don't know why side-by-sides like to hide batteries, but I think way back when, all the makes, models, and brands got together and said, you know what? We're going to try and make the most difficult battery placement possible to where you've got to be a part-time engineer to change this sucker out or get anything to it. And they have done a very good job at it because, son, I'll tell you what, some of those sport models, you got to take half the thing apart just to jump it off or jump somebody else off. It's a nightmare. That solves the problem. Moving on to the next thing. Communication is key. I'm running a Cobra 19 Mini in every single thing I own. Every side-by-side, every truck I got has a CB radio in it so I can talk to anybody that works for me, with me, or rides with me at any time. When you're out there in the middle of the woods and you don't have no cell phone signal, the peace of mind that that CB radio gives you when that tire pops off the rim and everybody's running 25 and you're at the back of the pack and all you got to is pick it up and say, hey guys, blew a tire, slow down for me. That right there is worth its weight in gold because there's nothing worse than being stranded in the woods alone. And that right there will keep that from happening. Look into it. It's cheap. You can leave it in there. A lot of people run those handheld CB radios. They jump from side-by-side to side-by-side. That's great. I just like to have mine hardwired in there full time so I never run off and forget it. Moving on to the next thing, safety. Good old booster seats with the harness attachment. Now, there's a bunch of harnesses out there. There's a bunch of different booster seats out there. But at the end of the day, no matter what brand you use, whatever amount of money you're spending on them, I believe you should have them for your kids. You shouldn't have your kids bouncing around in the back seat going left or right because they're going to end up in the floorboard or out the door. Somehow they're going to get hurt. It's not safe. I like to have my daughter in a harness secure, in a seatbelt when we are riding. Just a preference. Probably the most important thing on this video I'm going to talk about. Maybe you should look into it. Either way, moving on to the next thing, another accessory that really helps the safety of the vehicle. Speed round, brass pads, synthetic winch cables, and rock lights. Obviously, you want to see a 360 around the bike when you're getting in and out. Don't want to step on a snake or send a tree root up through your side-by-side because you didn't see it because your light bar's 40 yards out there lighting you up instead of right where you're at. Synthetic winch cable, of course, nobody wants to have a metal fiber ran up in their hand when they're helping somebody get winched out because your old steel cable is frayed. Brass pads are obviously so much better for your machining equipment. They last longer, and they are a little bit more expensive, but at the end of the day, they're going to last 2, 3, 4 times as long compared to your stock pads, which I've had some make it 3 days, 4 days, compared to brass pads making it 2 months. Another one of these accessories that I really like, everybody always loses their phone charger. Well, Dumper Fab sells a phone charger that mounts in your side-by-side that does not come out. And while it is holding your phone, it charges it. So I can look at my GPS when I'm driving through the trails, or I can just have it up there scrolling through music when I'm stopped. I don't have to fumble around with it when my hands are muddy. It doesn't fall out of my pocket, nothing like that. It's safe. It's where it needs to be. It's charging. But other than that, anything else in the rest of the video is extremely preferable stuff. Like this next thing from High Lifter. Frame stiffeners, man. I do the front and rear frame stiffener kits on every single side-by-side I own because from the dealer, it's running 30-inch tires. I'm obviously going to put 40s, 42s, 50s on it. The frame is not designed to run that big of a tire. It is putting an extreme amount of stress on them, and that is the number one thing that I see go out at any mud park we go to. Frame tabs break. Frames roll up. Frames get ripped apart because they're not meant to carry whatever tire size is on it most likely, especially when it's covered in mud, weighted down. I don't know. It's a simple thing that you can bolt on day one and not have to worry about it. But that's pretty much my top few things I think every side-by-side should have. Let me know what you're putting in your side-by-side that should definitely be on every single person's because it's so convenient, it's so reliable, and you wouldn't live without it. Let me know what you think.